Okay, well, it's time to get back to work for our team. Thought we showed some fight early in the last game, hung in there, and then didn't finish the way we wanted. But I think our guys played hard. Just we were not the better football team and didn't perform good enough to win. So we're on to our last game. This is an important game, and I think our team and seniors need to understand that we need to do our very best to finish the season off and play with great effort and go out there and compete and try to find a way to win. I think playing a team that's had a very good year to this point, they have some good senior leadership in their quarterback and some good offensive line. The running backs have played well. They've got some receivers. They've been able to throw the football and spread it around and done a good job defensively. They've been more attacking than they've shown in the past. They're going to challenge things and be very aggressive in their approach and rotate a lot of guys in there. They've done some good things. So we're going to have a great week of practice. We're going to have to work hard to improve, and the journey to get better starts today. And that means we've got to do everything in our power to come out and play well on Saturday.
Brian?
What's your sense for Indiana's offense and what's made them effective this season?
Well, I think that on offense this year they've opened things up quite a bit. They had two good quarterbacks, and Ramsey's the one that's playing now. That's a veteran. He played a lot of football games. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's efficient. But they spread the field, and they get it to their playmakers, and they make you cover guys in space, and then they'll mix in a little bit of run with it. And the running back is big and physical and strong, and they've done a good job. The quarterback can run the ball a little bit as well when he pulls it. So I just think that they've opened the playbook up more this year and try to utilize their talent and spread things around and be more aggressive in their approach.
What about their defense?
I think defensively, they've really done the same thing. They've been much more aggressive this year on defense than we've seen the first 2 years. More of an attacking style, more of a style where they're challenging things, making you find a way to beat them. It'll make them out of position occasionally, but they play downhill and they attack, and they're more versatile and do more things on defense as well. And I think the combination of those things have made them a better team.
What's going to be kind of your lasting impression of this senior class?
Well, I think our seniors that have been here, they've been through a lot, and they've overcome a lot and had some good moments. And now it's time to try to finish out on a good moment against your rival team. So I think that a lot of these guys have seen all the ups and downs that they could see, and they've had a great attitude with it. They've done everything we've asked and worked extremely hard, and I think they'll be very productive football players and citizens when it's all said and done, and we'd like to try to finish the season strong for them.
Jeff, is it safe to say, I guess, Rondell Moore and Lorenzo Neal shut down, this is it?
Well, I wouldn't say that fully, but you haven't seen it at this point.
Could you talk a little bit about just the Bucket rivalry, and for you, first of all, did you get a chance to ever play UK? And growing up in Louisville, what did you know about the Bucket rivalry?
Well, no, when I was there, we didn't play Kentucky, so we never got to experience that rivalry. But I know the Bucket game has a lot of history and tradition, and it's an important football game for the university, for bragging rights, for the state recruiting. It's an opportunity for both fan bases and players to get together. Most of them know each other and go out there and compete, have a good time with it, and hope to come out on the right side. And I think whether it's football or basketball or any sport, it's a lot of fun when you have these type of games, and when it's the last game of the year, especially the last 2 years when something was really riding on it for both teams. It meant a lot, and it made for some good football games. So we're hopeful that we can do our part this year and come out and compete and try to find a way to get a victory.
How have you celebrated with the Bucket in the past, personally?
Well, for me, and really our team the last 2 years, I think the wins not only meant a lot, but it meant that you got to go to a bowl game. I know there was a lot riding on it, so It was a great celebration, and those games meant a lot. And I don't know what the record was before, or how many we had lost before that, but it's always good to win that last game, especially when there's a lot riding on it. And you know, that's what made the last two seasons very fun. Is you know, the season came down to you win and you advance, or you lose and you go home. And we were fortunate the last 2 years to pull it off.
Mitch Daniels always brings up maybe playing the bucket game in Indianapolis. It's not going to happen, but what would be your thoughts on that game ever being played in Lucas Oil Stadium?
Well, I'm always open for a game at Lucas Oil Stadium. I think it's a great venue. It's a great place to play, and for the players and the fans. And you know, you always never want to lose a home game, but you know, that venue would be great for them or any team that we could play.
Off the beaten path a little bit, you played Minnesota and Wisconsin. They're playing for the Big Ten West this weekend. Who do you like in that game?
Well, I think it's going to be a good matchup. The fact that it's at one of Minnesota will make it to their advantage to a certain degree. But I think Minnesota's a big physical team. They can run the football, and their little run pass, play action stuff has been very effective for them with two outstanding receivers, and the quarterback's been efficient. Their defense has done a good job. And you know, Wisconsin is a solid football team. They've won a lot of football games, and I know Minnesota found a way to beat them last year. And Wisconsin will be hungry. It'll be a great challenge. You know, the thing in both those games, who can get out to the lead first and control the tempo will definitely help their chances of winning.
A couple things from Saturday's game. Secondaries, your secondary seemed to give a lot of cushion. I know you didn't get a great pass rush, but was that part of the plan to allow that much room between the secondary and the receivers on Saturday?
We did not play a great game on defense, without question, and no, our secondary did not have one of its better games. I think we all have to do a better job, coaches and players, this week, and make sure that we put our players in the best position to succeed and win. And then our players have to go out there and challenge things and compete to win as well. And I didn't think that, I agree with you, I didn't think that happened as much as it should. And we have to improve that and do a better job this week. This team is going to spread you out and throw it on the perimeter even more so than the last. And we've got to you know, not give too much cushion and challenge things, be able to make the tackle when the ball is completed or deflected or intercepted. And I do think that needs to be improved on greatly.
Are those just a combination of missed assignments or mental breakdowns?
It's a combination of all those things. You know, there were a couple times that the secondary had complete bust that should never happen, especially the little play action post about on the 30-yard line was, you know, should never happen. So there were some things that you know, our corners especially, but our secondary needs to, you know, have a much better understanding of the situation and what they're playing. But I think in general we all need to do better because you know, I don't like to give that much cushion.
What made Milton Wright the candidate to throw the trick play?
Well, Milton's a very good athlete, and the great thing about him is, you know, he's one of the few that since the day he's got here, he's made every practice. He practices hard. He gives great effort. In high school, you know, he's a good athlete and played a little wildcat quarterback. And we always let our receivers throw a little bit in practice and see how they throw, and he throws it pretty good. And you know, the question and concern was, you know, throwing it out to him. Was he going to throw it regardless of whether he was open or not? That was what scared me because I didn't want an interception, and so we had to reinforce, hey, if it's not open, we need to pump that thing and then run it, and you know, we had to make sure that he fully understood that. But fortunately, it was wide open, and it happened. Couldn't happen any better, and it was a good throw. You know, he gave him a chance to make the catch. He didn't overthrow a wide open guy, and we scored a touchdown. So that play was a lot of fun.
You mentioned earlier the journey to get better starts today. I know that means this week, but it also, I assume, also means looking ahead to the future. Where, it's a broad question, but where do the improvements, or where do you need to fill the gaps as you get past Saturday and looking ahead to 2020?
Well, that's could be a long answer. You know, I think in general we have a lot of work to do, and every year you go through, you have to realize where your weaknesses are and try to work hard to fix those. And I think there's been quite a few areas that we need to get better at, and you know, coaching and personnel and development and all those things need to improve. But you know, we've struggled at times running the football. We have to find ways to be more physical and commit to getting that done. And we've got to continue to develop all of our young players on the offensive side of the ball and get them better, all of them, every single one of them, so that we can play more guys. And if we have some areas that we need improvement, we need to go get it. And that's not always just bringing in freshmen. We got to be careful that we make sure we, you know, any transfers or graduate transfers or anything like that, that guys have experience, we're open to that. And same thing on defense. I think, you know, the interior of the defensive line, we've got to create more mass and size without question, and get bigger. We've got to develop our depth at linebacker, and get better there, and we've got to get better in secondary. And sometimes we got to continue to develop those guys, let them play through it without question, because there is some good promise, and there's others that they haven't got in the game yet. They need to improve greatly, and we've got to work hard and make sure we have a daily plan to get that done. And then once again, you know, try to fill some holes of guys that can come in and play right away. And all those things have to happen, and you have to do it year round. And we were fortunate the first year especially to get about 9 additions that came in and kind of just filled some voids. And last year we did a little bit. This past year not as much, and we just have to make sure that we have the perfect balance, but also, you know, develop and get our guys stronger and physical, and develop the daily habits so that you know, everything is about improving and winning and getting better.
Would you, in the future for your offense, would you like to incorporate some RPOs, more RPOs, into your system?
Well, we threw some this past game, and we always have them in, and you know, when you're running the ball effectively, it helps. So yes, everything is on the table. I think we have a little bit of everything, but when you've got good balance, it definitely helps. But we always got to, you know, evaluate the team each and every year and play to our strengths as well. You don't want to be stubborn, but there's a lot of areas we need to improve.
Coach, obviously, having a lot of true freshmen play this year because of the injuries and things, but can you talk about the impact that David Bella and George Karloftis have had on either side of the ball for your team?
Well, both David and George have been difference makers for us. They're outstanding players, great talents, and they've done their part. And they provided great leadership by example, and how they work and how they come ready to play each and every game and make plays and compete. And you know, we've got to get more guys that are able to do that. We've got to get more guys that are willing to work hard to do that. We've got to get more guys that are willing to, you know, bloody their lip right away in every game and play as hard as they can in order to win. And it also goes to off the field. We have to get more guys that want to understand that what they think is hard work and what they're doing is not good enough. We need more, and they have to be committed to doing more. When you look at both David Bell and George, but especially George, I mean, the guy studies the game all the time. And from the first day he got here in January, you see him in the facility all the time, working out, doing extra work in the training room, in the weight room, on the turf field, studying film, wanting to perfect his craft. And you need more guys to commit to want to do everything in their power to get it done. And that's how you can improve. And we've got to, you know, get more guys buying into that work ethic.
When you're out recruiting and things of that nature, do you look for guys that can be like a David or a George and make an immediate impact on your program as true freshmen?
Well, we look for as many as we can. The question is, are you going to get them all? So without question, you want to, you can identify quite a few of those guys. You got to recruit your tail off and convince some of those guys to come to Purdue and showcase what they're all about. The fact that we've had last couple of years, multiple true freshmen come in, play well, I think helps, but it's still a battle to make sure that, you get that done.
Anything else?
One more.
Oh, got one more from Brian up here.
Thank you, Marcia. Sorry about that. Is Dedrick Mackey okay? It looked like he got up a little bit slow after the interception return. I know he came back in the game, but do you have any sense on him?
No, he's nicked up, and he's been nicked up. We have some other guys as well, so I give him credit. He's played through some injuries, and this week will be the same way. And we'll try to get him to practice as much as he can, but we'll have to evaluate as the week goes on.
Just one other thing real quick. It being Senior Day Saturday, do you don't have any closure on Sindelar yet in terms of what his plans are?
Well, and that's a good question. I was waiting to get that, but we'll have whether or whether or not certain guys go through Senior Day really will not fully determine if they're coming back or not. There's certain guys like the one you mentioned and a few others that need a little more time to figure out what exactly they want to do. So no, I do not know a final answer there.
Gotcha.
Is that it? Thanks, everybody.